Hey everybody, welcome back to another Hatchback Homie podcast. We're super excited for this one. We got a special guest with us.
We do.
So we're just gonna go straight into it. We've got Tyler from Diamond ProTech. Welcome onto the podcast. We're excited to have you here and to learn a little bit more about Diamond ProTech and what makes it so special and unique.
We appreciate the invite and everything. It was great to get to meet you guys at SEMA and everything. And exactly what you said right there is what makes Diamond ProTech unique is pretty much our whole business model. We are a business built on science and getting people to understand, one, how we're unique and how that uniqueness is, what we think is better for your vehicle. Obviously, everyone has to figure out what's best for their vehicle. We all care for them different ways, but that uniqueness allows us to help people in sometimes different ways.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tyler, how long you've been with the company, what you do there specifically. So if someone's looking into Diamond ProTech, they know why you're a smart man there.
So I'm Tyler Cucci. I'm the sales director for North America, South America for Diamond ProTech. Technically for NG&T, which is all of the technology that surrounds the patented nano diamonds. From there, I work with all of our distribution, our certified installer network, any of our retail customers. So we have other members of the team that supports all that stuff. I've been with Diamond ProTech coming up on 2 years next month. March, April is when I started 2 years ago. Which was roughly 6 to 7 months after they got here. So they got here about 3 years ago now in the States. So our patents, our technology is almost a decade old now, which is pretty cool. We're Swiss manufacturer, so for getting in too much into the weeds, we're manufactured in Geneva, Switzerland. We are one of the few coating manufacturers that actually manufacture their products. We do not use someone else's technology. All of our coatings have, in the automotive segment, all of our coatings have anywhere between 2 and 3 patents on them, which is another big thing that differs for us. But my job is to take care of North America, South America over here.
Yeah, so I remember at SEMA you guys were saying the coatings were originally developed for like satellites and stuff like that, right? Is that what they're based off of, right?
Enriched diamonds, what really differs us is Diamond ProTech does not find its protective properties in an SiO2 or silica dioxide based coating, which is what we call in the industry a ceramic coating. Our backbone is actually PHPS, which stands for perhydrosilazane, which is a different inorganic polymer. Which allows us to get our extreme heat resistance, the shine, the fast curing times that we brag about. But that product's not nearly as hydrophobic, and that's where those enriched nano diamonds come in. So the enriched nano diamonds do a few things. One, enriched nano diamonds by themselves can go all the way up to 142 degree contact angle. That doesn't mean every single one of our coatings get to there. It all depends on what the blend of each of the coating looks like. So like our wheel coating and our glass coating, which deals with extreme temperature resistance. Like you guys are in Utah, I'm in Massachusetts. My glass coating is my favorite glass coating I've ever used because of its frost resistance. So like right now there's 6 inches on the ground and there's no frost on my windshield. And I love that. I've got 3 kids at home. Anytime I can save standing outside scraping my windshield down is save time. And on the flip side, our wheel coating goes 1,000 degrees Celsius. Now both of those coatings have certain traits that they're going after, and when we aim for those high heat resistance, we have to use a different style of nano diamonds. So they're not that crazy hydrophobics that sometimes we'll get out of like Diamond Body or Quick Body or our Hydro 2 coating in our Pro lineup. But yeah, that's kind of like the 50,000 foot view, but the nano diamond was needed for satellite coatings because nobody's able to go up there and wash your satellite. Nobody's able to clean off the motherboard. So space is actually really dirty. But So space is really dirty. There are certain times where temperature resistance are needed. So like our wheel coating is the exact same formulation that's used on satellites. 1,000 degrees Celsius, 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit is the exact needed, and not the. I'm sure isn't needed to be that excessive, but that's the exact expectations for motherboard coating on satellites. So we need to make sure that motherboard doesn't melt. Any of those connections melt. Again, you can't send someone up there to clean it. You can't send someone up there to solder something back together. So yeah, that is where 10 years ago the technology, the patents were all developed.
That's awesome.
That's cool. That's
So
interesting.
you guys have like a lineup specifically for like end users, like more like us, and then you have like a lineup more for detail shops and those type of specific shops that are more of a advanced coding, to say the least.
Our line breaks out what the Swiss have really done. Swiss have such a different business culture than us here in the United States, so that's why you'll see so many high-end brands come out of Switzerland, like not just in the detailing industry, but in industries across the board. Swiss Army knives, Swiss gear backpacks, Rolex. Like these are all worldwide known names, and their culture on how a business is ran is so unique. And when the Swiss said, okay, how are we going to divide up our coding technology? It wasn't about the quality of the coatings or the content of the coatings. It really went to the application process of the coatings. So you've got non-certified nano diamond coatings, you've got certified coatings, and the three easiest points to put down to it is if anything is considered non-certified, it's single layer technology, it's ready to get wet in an hour or less, and it's capable of being installed outside with no concerns. Ideally out of direct sunlight, not while it's getting rained on. But those are the three things: single layer, hour or less, and can be done outside. Now, when we move over to our pro coatings, those coatings are registered on Carfax. You register a warranty with the Swiss manufacturer. You actually get one of these cute little guarantee cards up here. I have one. So, like this is a guarantee card for our 10-year coating, but it's a guarantee card with a serial number that they register and all the paperwork for your customers on a nice QR code on the back. And when you get one of these, it comes in a nice sleeve, right? So now you can take that, throw it in the sleeve, and throw it in the glove box of your hatchback, so that your customer's not got more paperwork sitting in their vehicle. Now, those certified coatings will be multi-layered. They will need 2 hours, a maximum of 2 hours before they can get wet, and must be done inside of a shop. So that's where they segregate them out.
Gotcha. And those require obviously a little bit of a different
Yeah,
application process too,
so it's
correct?
multi-layered, but what's really crazy is like our Pro 60, which is our 5-year coating, and Pro 120, which is our 10-year coating. So Pro 60 is 2 layers, Pro 120 is 3 layers, but you can do our most extensive coating, Pro 120. Once you finish your paint correction and body prep, the entire coating lays down in an hour, hour and a half, and it's able to be delivered 2 hours after that. So your total time in the shop is 3 to 3.5 hours with that vehicle being coated, which technically makes us faster than any other single layer coating out there. And perhydrosilazane absorbs into the surface, so our body prep is big across all of our coatings, where we absorb and we actually work in the pores in the substrate that we're being applied to, rather than trying to create a shell on top of it. So the application, you're not removing nearly as much excess coating because of the way that we work with the surface we're being applied to.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So maybe let's break down. We've gone through your website. Let's go through the different products you offer. Let's maybe start with the straight to customers. Go through what you offer, what makes each product specific and unique to you guys. And maybe a quick tip or trick on if you're applying it or if you're using it, those type of things.
if we start off with our non-certified products, what's really cool about our site is we offer complete kits where you get the body prep or the glass prep, depending on the product you're getting. You get the bottle of the coating, plenty to do, a minimum of one vehicle, but most of those, yeah, right there, you've got the leather one. And the leather one's actually a great one. We'll start with the leather one because leather didn't exist in our aerospace program. So that was the first coating that was from the what'd you say? So from all the way from the start, that isn't, yeah, the ground up. Thank you.
From the ground up.
From the ground up. I was
Right.
gonna say it's early, but if you guys are in Utah, it's real early for you guys. So I didn't get home till 3 o'clock last night. I was working with someone else. So but yeah, so from the ground up, leather is our first product. But in that kit, you get the prep product, you get the coating, you get a nice applicator in there, and you get a microfiber and two sets of gloves, actually, a set of large and a set of extra gloves. And everyone always opens it up and they're like, holy crap, these gloves are really nice. The microfiber and applicator. Yeah. So
Are nice gloves.
it's
Yeah. I was
so everyone's like,
pleasantly
oh yeah,
surprised.
free gloves, throw those away. And every single time we do something, like, these are really nice gloves. And the microfiber and applicator are from the Rag Company, right? So they're really nice applicator microfiber. The Swiss
Okay.
just
Perfect.
don't cut corners. I've been in the detail industry as a distributor or manufacturer rep for over 15 years now, and this has been my favorite manufacturer to work with when it comes to, hey, we need to do it this way, and they just do it. I mean, it's just cool to work with a company that like wants to make sure they have everything done the right way. But yeah, so you've got the kit. You can get standalone bottles, but that kit, leather specifically, I'll do a quick little overview of each product. Diamond leather was specifically designed from the ground up for the automotive industry. There's no leather on satellites. There's no leather in other areas where we have industrial coatings kind of being applied. And it's what's so unique about that product is one of two coatings in the world that I'm aware of that you can actually put on natural, genuine leather. It is permeable, meaning you can still condition your leather through a coated seat, which is really, really cool. So that's a very unique product. Applies on immediate flash time, and then you're leveling it out. And 30 minutes later, you can, drive your family to the ice cream shop, or 30 minutes later, your customer can pick up a vehicle and it's ready to go. No gloss enhancements, no textile changes. If you do want gloss enhancements, that's where you end up switching over to our Diamond Interior. And Diamond Interior will add a little bit of gloss, give you some anti-static properties, or what most of the industry calls as self-cleaning or fingerprint resistance. So that product goes on as a cream, also very unique. But it gives you a good finish, dresses it up a little bit. I wouldn't call it a trim restorer. If your trim is shot, you're going to want to do some type of restoration before you go and put Diamond Interior on it. But again, 30 minutes, that vehicle's ready to go. Diamond Interior can be put on synthetic leathers, but it cannot be put on natural leathers, where diamond leather could be put on both, right? And here in the Americas, about 90-95% of our car market is synthetic coated leathers. So most of the time, that Diamond Interior you'll be able to use on everything.
Yeah, I know, like, specifically, we requested the diamond leather because Sean's got he's got a Cabela's F350, and it came
Yeah.
with some genuine leather Cabela specific seats. And so, like, we've actually had the opportunity to apply this one and make a video. And like, we put a piece of tape down the middle of the seat and did one half the seat and didn't do the other half, and we took the tape off, and I was like, I can't see where we did put it and didn't put it, but I can feel the difference. If I rub my hand down, like,
Mhm.
one side is so much smoother and softer and has like a glossier feel almost, but I couldn't see a difference. But
That
the other
rough
side
leather
still
feel.
was that 20-year-old rough
Yeah.
leather,
Yeah.
feel. I was like,
So
you can
that's
feel the application.
and it's awesome to hear that you've got one of those vehicles. So again, you went and found one of the 5% of the vehicles out there that, are that 5% out there that doesn't have synthetic leather in it. And yeah, you're very much correct. You put it on and you end up feeling that slick feeling. It's exciting because that is an interior that if something happens, you still want to be able to condition that leather, right? Like leathers, I could geek out. I could geek out the entire time about leather, but um, leather's skin, right? Like if we sit down and think about it, it's skin. We like to say hide, but what is hide? It's skin. Well, human beings, we have skin, but our body rejuvenates oils every day. Every day, our body's making new oils, and we're reconditioning our own hide, right? But our seats don't get to do that because so being able to protect them and then still having the ability to condition them the way that they naturally would have is, again, for me, very exciting. I've been doing car stuff for too long. I geek out about weird stuff like that. But yeah, so that's leather and interior, which is big stuff that we're talking about during the winter time. My favorite coatings to actually talk about. Everyone always loves body coatings, but I really love talking about diamond wheels and diamond glass. And I love talking about them together, as I kind of said earlier. So extreme temperature resistance. So that technology, both of those coatings came out of the satellite program. So frost resistance, clarity, visibility out of diamond glass is needed when you've got your Earth and your sun's over here and your satellite's hiding behind the Earth. Well, now you're in sub-zero temperatures, right? And you need a protective coating that can withstand that. And that's where diamond glass comes into. And to kind of loop it all back together, we have no issues openly emitting. It is not the most hydrophobic glass coating, but it is one of the only glass coatings I've ever seen that does frost resistant. And the clarity of diamond glass is so impressive. We've got a 12-month life expectancy on it. I will say on the side glass, it goes way beyond that. But on windshields, I love using my family vehicles as the example. So I drive a Sierra. My windshield lasted me 14 months, right? Why? I'm higher up off the ground. I don't use my wiper blades a lot. But then we can go over to my wife's vehicle. So she has a Kia. She's very low to the ground. She uses her wiper blades a lot more than me. Doesn't do nearly as many miles as me. Like I literally I drove 10 hours yesterday between all of my driving. So doesn't go as many miles as me, but she uses her wiper blades more. Her coating only lasts 10 months on the windshield with a single layer. So that 12 months is a very realistic number. Most people report more than that, and most people will choose, because of how easy it is to apply, to throw a second layer on their windshield. They'll still just do single layers on all the way around the vehicle, but both of those vehicles were applied, their glass coatings were applied at the same time, and all their surrounding glass is, actually, if I'm 2 years here with Diamond ProTech, it's almost 2.5 years old on the rest of the glass off of the original application. Friction is pretty much the only way most of our coatings come off or abrade, because of our chemical resistance and some other stuff which we can geek out on later. But yeah, so that's glass. Frost resistance, my big favorite thing there. Wheels. You heard me say earlier, I have 3 kids. I haven't gotten into my wheel scene of my life yet. Too busy buying hockey gear and all that other stuff. But our wheel coating for people that are in the wheel scene,
right?
The heat resistance, 1,000 degrees Celsius, 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, is literally hotter than Formula One race car wheels will get. More than double what a Formula One race car wheel will get. So again, that's another product that almost physical abrasion is the only way we're going to end up taking it off. Chemical resistance, it goes all the way down to a 2.5, all the way up to a 12.5 on the pH spectrum, which means you can use your favorite wheel acids, you could use your favorite degreasers, and you're not going to affect the coating technology. And you're not going to need it. That's the other cool thing, right? Like a lot of people say they don't need their all their heavy duty cleaners and everything. We're actually launching a new product that is a multi-surface degreaser, depending on how you dilute it, and that product does phenomenal with it. And it chemically is not aggressive whatsoever, but the coating technology does a great job with it, which is cool. And then body coatings, you'll see I always like to pair stuff up, compare things together. Body coatings, you have Quick Body, which is a sprayable coating, Diamond Body, and Body 36. So the two that I always put up against each other is Diamond Body, which is my favorite coating in the entire lineup, including the certified products, or Body 36. So I start with saying, why do I like Diamond Body? So Diamond Body is our 18-month coating. It goes way beyond 18 months, but it's our 18-month coating is what we advertise, and it focuses on gloss. It also has 0 cure time, and the flash time on it, like where we are, you can get up to 10 to 15 minutes, so you're applying it to half a vehicle before you're going back to leveling it off. If we're down in Costa Rica, Florida, which we do a lot of trainings in, we'll still end up having like a 5 to 8 minute flash time, right? So for me, when I was a detailer, I was a mobile detailer. The cost per milliliter, the cost per application of the product is so inexpensive that Diamond Body is a moneymaker, and everybody gets their car taken care of at least once every 2 years, which is what people are going to be able to expect out of that product. And as you add gloss, if you're not getting perfect paint correction, some micro marring scratches is no longer visible, which is awesome. Now, and the that's where you're going to get the most hydrophobic properties out of our non-certified lineup, which is, what do customers want? They want to see the water beating up. They don't, you talk about sheeting, you talk about shine. Customers don't fixate on that. They fixate on gloss. They fixate on oleophobic. They fixate on hydrophobic. So all those things are what customers want, and that's what Diamond Body delivers. And it does it with a 0 cure time. Like, it baffles me that that's even doable. Which is
Yeah, it's pretty
now,
cool.
that
Really
doesn't
cool.
take away from Body 36. Body 36 is a great coating. To me, Body 36 is more of a car enthusiast's coating that understands coating technology or benefits of coating a bit more. So you're going to get higher chemical resistance, but when you're operating in that 2.5 all the way up to a 12.5, I mean, you're protected from pretty much anything chemically that's going to happen to your vehicle. Whether that's bird droppings, the vehicle in front of you's transmission explodes, you drove through a puddle that you thought was just a puddle of water, but it actually had brake fluid in it. There's so many things in the real world that we deal with that people never think of. But then on top of that, Body 36 is more of a sheeting and shiny coating. So understanding the difference between a shine and a gloss. Shiny is being able to look at a black vehicle and seeing yourself looking back at you. Gloss is looking at a black vehicle and you can see this beautiful black, or the better one would be a red vehicle, this beautiful black or red vehicle being really bright coming back at you. And some people like to be able to see the depth of their paint, the shine of their vehicle, and that's what Body 36 will do. But they've heard all these things about how crazy the hydrophobic levels of enriched nanodiamonds are versus an SiO2-based coating. And Body 36 acts a lot more like a ceramic coating on hydrophobic properties, but we don't talk about maintaining our coatings with pH balanced soaps. We tell you, you want to use Brake Buster, use Brake Buster. You want to use, a water spot remover, use a water spot remover. I'm one of my ideal customers for Diamond ProTech, where I don't over-maintain my vehicles. If anything, I under-maintain my vehicles. I wash my vehicles anywhere between 3 and 4 times a year, and I jokingly say I'm probably exaggerating when I say that number, because the coating is on my truck, and I know that I can let all the salt and grime and everything build up on that Body 36 coating, and I literally wash my truck with degreaser. Now, I wash my truck inside my house, away from direct sunlight, on warm panels. They're not freezing, they're not too hot, but I will degrease my entire truck, do a physical contact wash, and when I'm done my wash process, like any other coating potentially could have been stripped off with that degreaser, and Diamond ProTech's still cranking through, no problem. 2.5 years later, or 2.5 years later, on the exact same Body 36 coating on a truck that has driven at least 60,000 miles since it was installed.
Wow, it's impressive. That's a way impressive. It's cool you have that confidence in that product.
Completely.
For sure.
And it's funny, right? Like, here I am, like, Diamond Body's my favorite coating, but Body 36 is what's on my truck. Why? Because that's the one that I know that I can beat, I can abuse. And it's tough, right? Like, we talk about this part, and one of our distributors in Utah talks about it a lot. He's like, Diamond ProTech is the working man's coating. And it's not that Diamond ProTech is only for, people that are commuting their kids all over the place, or someone who's working, or someone who has a fleet of vehicles that they don't get to maintain all the time. We accelerate there where, garage kept cars are great. I think everybody can look beautiful and be as protective as possible on a garage kept car. But we accelerate at vehicles that are used and abused.
It's awesome. A lot of people don't want to just look at cars. They want to drive them. You know what I mean? But they want it to look good while they do it.
Yeah,
So
no,
this sounds like
exactly.
a great option for them.
And that brings us to the last body coating that we have in our non-certified lineup, which is Quick Body. Quick Body is a sprayable version of Diamond Body. So we literally have a bottle of Diamond Body mixed in with additional solvents into that bottle of Quick Body. And this is going to give you 6 months to a year of just the hydrophobic properties of a nano diamond coating. Hydrophobic properties and gloss factors. Chemical resistance, very easy to strip off. But this is your topper. This is using a product to take that Body 36 for the person that needs good protection on their vehicle, and now adding those great hydrophobic contact angles that everyone loves. And Quick Body can be put on everything. Headlights, chrome trim, raw metal. You can put it on your wheels. You can put it on everything on the exterior of the vehicle. You can throw Quick Body on, and again, a 0 cure time. So you're not putting this on and then saying like, oh my gosh, I can't drive my vehicle, or oh, it looks like Saturday morning. Again, I like to put myself in the customer's shoes. Like, all right, Saturday morning, I have time that I could clean my car. But then at lunchtime and dinner time, I've got to go to basketball practice or, snowboarding, whatever it is. Like, I can put it on my vehicle Saturday morning in the little bit of time I have and still know my vehicle is protected when I'm bringing the kids snowboarding at the mountain that night, and not worry about the work I did not taking.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. And 0 cure time is crazy. It is really crazy. So
that's the lineup of our non-certified. Don't want to underplay our pro coatings, but like Pro 60, pretty much what you're doing is instead of trying to come up with a single layer that can do everything the best for you, Pro 60 does a 5-year coating that's in two layers, right? We also have Pro 36. I apologize. So we've got Pro 36, which is our 3-year coating. It is a single layer technology. We do ask for 2 hours of cure time on that. It's Carfax registered and everything. So that is a little bit more mobile detailer friendly. But Pro 60 and Pro 120, we, instead of trying to cocktail all of the properties or best properties of a coating into one, we really segregate them out and allow them to get the best possible results out of it. So you've got all your chemical resistance coming in the base coatings, and then you've got all your hydrophobic properties coming in the top coat Hydro 2. Hydro 2 is our most hydrophobic coating in the entire lineup of automotive coatings. But that's exactly what it is. I tell people, hey, Pro 60 is your everything you want as a professional detailer out of a coating. Pro 120A, Pro 120B is everything you want out of a coating as a professional detailer. Hydro 2 is everything the customer wants out of a coating. And when you look at it that way and you see how much of our coatings actually absorb in the surface rather than having to be leveled out and removed as excess product, a lot of installers are baffled that they can provide the results they want, the results the customer wants, and it's actually an easier and quicker application process than some single layer technology, which is cool, And then Pro 36 is that attempt. Pro 36 is attempting to blend the technology of Pro 60's base coat and Hydro 2 into one coating. And as soon as you do that, you lose something, right? You lose some of the durability and you lose some of the hydrophobic properties. And that's kind of the reason we're able to achieve that extra 20 to 25% on the hydrophobic properties, leveraging the coatings like Diamond Body and Hydro 2, is because we're segregating it from some of those extreme durable and protective properties.
Gotcha. Okay. For any of those people that are pro detailers type of a thing, how do they sign up to get those
Yeah,
products
no,
to be
good
able to
question.
apply
So
them from you
we do
guys?
our trainings two ways when it comes to our certified installers. So you can go to diamondprotech.com, click on the tab that asks about professional products and apply to become a pro. Once you become a pro installer, it's an application process. We need proof of a business license, business insurance, some photos of your shop, just making sure you're a true professional. There's a $500 course fee to get into the course, but as soon as you finish, if you do online is an hour and a half. It's a quick hour and a half. It really depends on how well and knowledgeable you are. There's some small differences in an application process of a nano diamond coating versus a ceramic coating, and that's all that really is focused on. But once you finish that hour and a half, we end up sending you a $750 grad pack. So you get your first Pro 120, you get your first Pro 60, you get your first Pro 36, a glass kit, all the body prep that you need, and a quick body. So you end up getting enough coatings that you're going to go out as a professional and easily make $4,500 off your $500 investment. That $500 is just to kind of stop the tire kickers. Now, if online learning is not your thing, we do, on average, 1 to 2 in-person training events somewhere in the United States every month. We've done a couple events in Utah. We do them in Florida all the time. I'm going to be in Florida next month. We'll be in Florida in March doing 3 events in Spanish in different parts of Florida. So we do events in Spanish, we do events in English. And what I love about the in-person events, we get to talk a little bit more about paint correction. We get to talk about selling the product. We get to talk about, running your business rather than just, learning the application process. And then, that's kind of the big difference. And that also, on the pro level, segregates us from a lot of other certified coatings. Is we love working with our distributors. So we have a distributor network set up, and those distributors will have the pro coatings. So we have some pro installers that will do, RVs. When you do an RV and you're doing a 5-year coating on the vehicle and you need 6 bottles, it's kind of nice to have to keep those 6 bottles on your shelf all the time and be able to have a distributor down the street that's got the 6 bottles on their shelf. So you can just go pick it up when you've already sold the job, gotten your deposit, all that fun stuff.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Awesome. Can imagine coating an RV.
I
It's a
coated a
big
very
vehicle.
small, 26-foot RV, probably a decade ago. And it was not an enjoyable process.
It's good. If I have to wash my F-350, I dislike it. No, I can't imagine applying a coating on an RV, man.
Yeah, it's
It
Need
is
a
it's a
scaffolding.
lot of
surface
surface space, and it
but then
it just absorbs so much product, right? And like you have to do it outside, so it's oh yeah. No, it was this when I did it was way before. This is why this person loves Diamond ProTech, is the flash times for him. He's like, this is perfect, but so I know what struggles he remembers. But yeah, it was not an enjoyable thing, and nobody saw the value in it back then. I mean, to tell someone a three figure, $100 per foot number back then, they thought you were nuts. Everybody wanted you to like detail an RV or a boat for like 12, $15 a foot, and then you're like, hey, I saw that coating. Could you put that on my RV? And then all of a sudden you're talking, yeah, for $125 a foot, and they're like, never mind.
Yeah, they don't realize how much
It's
work that's going to be.
it,
Oh man,
so that's
I
the
can't
part that
imagine
people
that.
don't realize. It's not the product sometimes. So you could probably do that whole RV, with 150 milliliters of product, But and I think that's what I used back then. But it's
Right.
it's going around the whole vehicle, and you're correct. You need scaffolding, and guess what? You've got to go up and down and move the scaffolding, take the scaffolding down, put it back up. That's people never see. They're like, oh, but I saw one of the bottles online. It's only $100 for the bottle, and it's like, yeah, that's the cheap part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The labor's expensive.
building those calf muscles every time you got to
Oh
build those.
man, Oh, that's awesome.
And on
Oh,
the opposite scale, you guys also offer some stuff for like motor.
So we have so the bike coating is for bicycles. Very bicycles. Yeah. So Diamond Bike
Oh,
is for
okay.
it's bicycles. Very
Actual.
European, Latin America, Canadian. I will say, as Americans, we love gas, right? So but in Europe, I mean, it's very common for an entire family to bicycle somewhere together as a family. Even, hey, let's go to dinner and ride bikes. So that is a bike coating specifically for the bicycle industry. Now, in the motorcycle industry, we have a lot of motorcycle shops that use diamond wheels or our certified coatings, where you're getting extreme heat resistance. Because diamond wheels, going to 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, you can literally coat headers, exhaust headers, and right? Exhaust headers go up to 400. Paint. When you paint headers, it goes up to 450 degrees for your header paint. So all of a sudden, you start talking about a coating going to 1800 degrees, and it's like, oh crap. So we're actually pretty popular, and Diamond Wheels does a great job absorbing into surfaces. So like any of your chrome work on motorcycles is good. Any of your exhaust, and it does work on painted surfaces too. And then if you've got motorcycles and Corvettes have some of the most proud owners out there. And if you did do a coating for someone on a motorcycle, I'd highly recommend setting them up with Quick Body afterwards for them to touch their car or their motorcycle as much as they want. Because sometimes people will have stuff, and it's funny, right? Like I've been in the detailing industry since I got out of high school as a rep, chemical rep. And my father, to the best of my knowledge, still washes all of his vehicles with Turtle Wax Ice car soap. He loves it. Turtle Wax is what he grew up with. I don't argue with him. His 64 ounces of car soap he uses a year isn't life changing for me. But when he had me actually coat his truck, I had to say, Dad, I need to make sure you understand this. Turtle Wax has Caranuba in their soap, and Caranuba will not play well with the coating that you now have on your truck. Your Mustang, keep washing it the way that you want to wash it. Keep touching it every weekend. Do what you're doing. But your truck, which is his commuter, don't do that, because you'll clog the coating up. It won't look good. Like, here, use this stuff. And that's going to be the biggest thing if you are taking care of your own motorcycle, or you're starting to think, hey, I want to use a nano diamond coating on my vehicle. Not every product will immediately clog a nano diamond coating, but what will happen very frequently is you'll go from that 140, 130 degree contact angle down to 120 degree contact angle if you're using an SiO2 based product, maybe 110 to a 90 degree contact angle if you're using a traditional polymer, maybe a 60 degree contact angle if you're using a Caranuba wax. And the problem is when you go from 140 to even 100, you've now had over a 25%. Yeah, you've now had over a 25% change in the contact angle and water behavior that every human being realizes that difference. And you want to make sure you educate your customer or educate yourself that you can still use those products if you love them, but you just may not, you may be covering up the properties of the coating that you laid down. And the good thing is it is a cover up, right? You're not getting rid of them. You've hidden them underneath. Go back, wash your vehicle with, Dawn dish soap or some type of other degreaser to strip off that protective product that you put on. And the good thing is the Diamond ProTech coating will be underneath everything, just waiting for you to get back to it.
Be there. It's awesome. Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that you're coming out with like some actual cleaning products outside of your coating products. Is there anything more you can tell us about that and how those will work great with the Diamond
Yeah,
ProTech
I can tell you all
lineup that's
about them.
currently
Actually,
there?
we're getting ready to launch them here at the beginning of April. I'll definitely tell you about them. So we've got 6 products that we're launching, or really 5 products, but 6 is what you'll see. We have 2 soaps. We have 2 specialty products, and then our multi-surface concentrate, which comes in a multi-surface concentrate for a liter, or a ready-to-use, which is very simply a 10-to-1 dilution of our concentrate product in a pint or 500 milliliter bottle. So we'll start with the soaps. I always love starting with the soaps. We're launching Diamond Revive shampoo and Diamond Coat Care shampoo. What makes them differ? Revive is a low pH, so it's technically a little bit more of an acid wash. So Revive is designed to be used by someone like me who washes their vehicle 3-4 times a year. Our vehicles get clogged, it gets abused. It does not add any protection to it. You're really just stripping off anything that you may have on there. So, I went through an automated car wash and they put drying agent on my vehicle. I went through an automated car wash and got the Caranuba wax. I've got water spots, fresh new water spots. I've got, salts, mineral deposits, all that fun stuff. That's what Revive's for, is something that you would wash the vehicle maybe once every 2 or 3 months, right? Coat Care is the exact opposite. It is actually an alkaline or high pH wash. So it does a little bit better with your everyday road grime, road film, exhaust that you might get from driving in the city. And that coating or that product actually adds protective products back to it. So you're cleaning up the coating, and then in addition to that, you're adding some protective properties or hydrophobic properties just to help extend the life. And the hydrophobic properties of Coat Care are almost identical to a Diamond ProTech coating. So whether it's you as the vehicle owner or your customer is not going to notice any change going from a nano diamond hydrophobic and gloss performance to a SiO2 based hydrophobic or gloss and performance after that. So those are our 2 soaps. Both are great through foam cannons. Both are great with contact washes. We do, as a coating manufacturer, recommend contact washes with, obviously grit guards, quality wash mitts, all that stuff. We're not scared of a contact wash. All of our coatings you're able to get, they all on the pencil hardness scale exceed a 9H. So we do not claim 10H. Pencil hardness scale caps out at 9H. So we do exceed it, and we do say that we exceed it, but we don't go beyond that. Then we move over to our 2 specialty products. So we have a water spot remover. Our water spot remover is really potent. I would not actually recommend using our water spot remover on someone else's coating. It lives right at that. Yeah, it lives right at that bottom of the range for Diamond ProTech's abuse level of that 2.5 on the pH spectrum. But it does a phenomenal job removing water spots. Now, what I always like to do, whether it's our water spot remover or anybody's water spot remover, understand the difference between a water spot and a water etch. A water spot is sitting on top of the surface, whether it's a coating, clear coat, whatever it may be. A water spot is on top. Water etch actually goes into that clear coat. And there's no water spot remover that exists today that's able to resolve a water etch, because that's where you end up needing to go over to polishing. So we do not remove water etching. We just remove water spots. If we do talk about using it at a maximum dwell time of 30 seconds, then cleaning it off. And if you need to, you can repeat depending on how long you let your water spots sit and bake on the vehicle. Sometimes you need elbow grease, but the sooner you can resolve them, the easier they are always to take off for everybody. Then we have Diamond QD. Diamond QD fills the gap that we were having with people that like to touch their car every week and the use of Quick Body. Quick Body is a sprayable coating, like I said earlier. It's a very durable product, and it's a pretty potent product in general. And QD fills that gap. QD allows you to have it's almost like a quick detailer. It's a quick detailer made with nano diamond technology. So it works on the inside, works on the outside. Is a really enjoyable product to use as a drying agent. Where Quick Body, while some people would use it as a drying agent, not the best drying agent in my opinion. And you had to be very sparing with how many pumps of product that you put onto a panel. If you were doing a fender, you do 2 or 3 pumps of Quick Body, or all of a sudden you'd be working for a really long time. With QD, you want to touch your vehicle all the time. You want to, have some fun, put a protective thing on it while you're at a car show, or take care of dust. You can put as much QD on to a panel as you want, and it will not, it won't become a tedious process to remove, which is nice. And then back to the multi-surface concentrate. Multi-surface concentrate is exactly that. It's a multi-surface cleaner. It comes in a concentrate, or what we call our ready-to-use form. The ready-to-use form is a pre-diluted 10-to-1 mixture, which is great for someone to keep in the back of their car if they've got an issue, both on the inside or the outside. But going to the concentrate, it's a minimum dilution of 1-to-1. So that minimum dilution of 1-to-1 is where it becomes water activated and begins to work. At 1-to-1, you've got a pretty potent degreaser that can be used on your engine, sidewalls, wheel wells, rims, and it's got a nice surfactant in it that actually clings, holds on, and allows the product to dwell. It needs a dwell time, so while I say it's a potent product, it's not really a caustic product. So it doesn't damage. It needs dwell time to work in order to really release that dirt, grime that we're cleaning. But at 1-to-1, the surfactants really allow it to cling on and hold to whatever you are putting it onto. Just exterior use at that point. Then we would normally recommend it going up to a 4-to-1 dilution. 4-to-1 dilution you can still use as sidewall cleaners. If you've got rims that are already coated, you're going to be using that 4-to-1 to clean your rims off. If you've got, if you bring your car to the track, we have a lot of customers. We're a very popular coating for people that do track work. If you've got someone going to the track, that's what you're going to use to remove your slugs from the side of the vehicle, all the tar pellets. So 4-to-1 is a great mixture. Then we get into, which technically 4-to-1 could be used in the interiors, so it is safe enough to be used on fabrics and stuff. But you're going to be needing to find a really dirty vehicle to be using it at a 4-to-1 dilution. That 10-to-1 is the sweet spot to start getting into the insides of vehicles, working on fabrics, working on vinyl seats and everything. But what's really cool is that 10-to-1 dilution, and this is why they get that ready-to-use bottle made there, It's good on pre-treating the side of your exterior vehicle. It's good for bugs. It's good for all of the stuff that you would do as a pre-treatment cleaner on the outside of the vehicle, giving it some good dwell time. It's crazy how much of that stuff just will melt off at a 10-to-1 dilution. It's also where it begins to get pretty foamy. So if you are a detailer that has been doing this for a while, once upon a time, like when I started detailing, we cleaned with foam. That was the mindset that we were taught back then. So 10-to-1 is a great cleaner on the inside. You're going to cut sunscreen, nicotine, lotion stains, mascara off of headliners. All of those things you're going to be doing at a 10-to-1 dilution. Pretty strong product, but at the same time, it's the right chemical makeup to not get stiff carpet bristles, not get chalky residue on anything, high foaming properties, and then you can go all the way down to a 30-to-1. So that's literally 1 ounce of product in a 32-ounce spray bottle. And now you're going to have a low foam cleaning product. That's going to be your light duty or everyday interior cleaning product. It's not going to cut the mascara, the nicotine, the sunscreen, those things that are more oily based. You're going to need that 10-to-1. And yeah, I mean, that 30-to-1, you're taking a liter and able to make 30 liters out of it, which is huge. I mean, that's what's that? You got so you're turning it into, you're looking at 7.5 gallons of product, which is more than most people. It is
Wow.
it is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
All of our aftercare products are manufactured in Europe, just like our coatings, right? Everything's coming from overseas, so manufacturing in concentrates is important. We do that same 1 ounce for a bucket of car soap with our both of our shampoos. 1 to 2 ounces. If you're doing 3 ounces of soap, you're kind of just being wasteful, or you're trying to get a foam cannon shot for the gram. That's about it.
Right. But he loves the foam cannon shots for the gram.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Sounds like you guys have some really cool products coming that work well with your lineup you have already. So
Yeah, no,
that's
I'm
really cool.
excited, and we're
Yeah, it's cool.
we're going to be announcing it at TRCMA. I think we're going to be there at April 2nd, so that's a really good trade show to go to. It's an online trade show, but we'll have all those products, and we're making some other cool announcements there. Those ones I'm not allowed to talk about yet. But
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So
Cool. Well, I think we're kind of coming to the top of the hour here,
yeah.
but I think our last question we kind of had was what sets Diamond ProTech apart, but I think we've really covered that super well already.
Someone
So
doesn't know that by now from the podcast, then I don't know what we've
they
been
just
talking
skipped to
about.
the end.
if you
Is what I
skip to the end to
did.
find out what makes us different, you have to go back and listen to the rest. We apologize.
There you go. There you go. That's what I like.
But we really appreciate you coming on here. You guys have also sent us some product. We got a video coming for the diamond leather. We've also got some diamond glass that we're going to be making a video on. And then we actually have a diamond glass kit that we're going to be doing a giveaway with. So we're really excited to be doing all that, putting these stuff to the
Mhm.
test, especially with that diamond glass. I'm super excited to try to get rid of some of that frost because that's such a pain. And so we're really appreciative of you guys as well as you just coming on the podcast. We also
Yeah.
have a discount code for anybody who wants any of that product. It'll be down in the link below, but it'll also just stage 2 threads 10. Pop that in, get 10% off your first order.
Not
Test
just
out
your
some of these
first,
products for
not just your
yourself,
first
guys.
order, man. You got to
It's
get
awesome.
10%
Yeah.
off on all your orders, right?
Uh,
So get your
Any
coatings
order.
now,
Any
your
order.
your frost resistant glass
Yeah.
coating today, and then in April when the aftercare products launch, make sure you're always using that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
For
Agreed.
sure.
Agreed 100%. Well, awesome. Before we hop off with you, Tyler, if there's one more thing you want to say to the people, this is your last
No, I
chance
think I
before we
really
let you go.
appreciate being able to be here. So, it's great to be able to get on, kind of tell our story. One of the big things you'll see in this industry, you've got some companies that are amazing marketing companies. Some companies are amazing manufacturers, And Diamond ProTech has found our roots in manufacturing with our patents that are, like I said, a decade old. So being able to partner up with you guys and kind of expand into that marketing side of it is huge, especially being, the manufacturer of the product. So I appreciate the opportunity. If you guys ever have any other questions, feel free to reach out. If anybody listening to this has a question, reach out to our any of our social media handles. Our marketing manager was a detailer, has done coatings before. Like our entire staff here in the United States has been at one point a detailer, or is currently still running detailing businesses. PPF vinyl shops. We're a very educated team of customer service people here for you.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's good.
Well, awesome. Thank you for coming on, Tyler. And for anybody watching, we'll catch you on the next one.